Today I'm going to be telling you 10 things that should not be in your CV and have been killing your CV throughout the years. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emilia Blahen and I am the real HR. If you're joining me for the first time, you're welcome. I'm so excited to have you. Please click on the subscribe button and also click on the notification button for any new videos I post will be sent to you directly. I am a certified IBM human resource consultant. I have trained over 5,000 candidates. I have interviewed over 10,000 applicants through the years, and I know that you're coming to this channel is not by mistake. You are going to learn something new today, but for today I'm going to be talking to you about how to create a compelling CV, and as a matter of fact, the best CV you will ever have. By just storming on this video and watching till the end, you're sure that your CV will never get rejected by any employer, and I mean it. All right, so quickly today we'll be delving into the class for the day. You're welcome. Your CV is an essential piece of marketing information that your prospective employer sees before they see you. So the best you can give to your CV, please do that. And that's why this video is curated for job seekers who have probably been getting turned down by employers because they've been submitting poor CVs. So I want you to create a picture in your mind. Imagine you're trying to sell a product to a prominent buyer. You have a buyer who wants to buy a product worth millions of naira or millions of dollars, and you want to package that product in such a way that the buyer buys that product. You know, you put in so much effort in beautifying it, making sure everything is okay for the client to want to buy that product. That is exactly what you should do to your CV. Your CV should be prepared in such a way that whenever a prospective employer glances through it, they want to meet the owner of that CV. They want to meet the person behind the CV. So if your CV is created shabbily, if you do not pay attention to the details of your CV, you might lose the interview. And once you lose an interview, you've automatically lost the job. All right, so quickly, before we go into the class, I'm just going to be giving you a quick tip. The tip is a CV is meant to grant you access to an interview. It is not meant to give you a job. What your CV does for you is that your CV gives you access or grants you a ticket into getting an interview from a prospective employer. So you need to do everything possible to win the heart of your prospective employer and get that interview, because that is the major reason of your CV, to get you an interview. Nobody employs someone by just hearing about them. They need to see an information about them before calling them in and then interviewing them. After the interview, they can determine whether or not you passed, and then you can get invited for an interview. So the basic or the most important reason or the purpose of your CV is to grant you a ticket or access to being interviewed, so you can let the prospective employer know who you are, have a reason to meet you in person. Number one, take out your passport photograph. If your passport photograph is still on your CV up until now, take it out this minute. Your passport photograph should not be anywhere near your CV. I'll tell you why. So for instance, I'm a HR personnel and I want to recruit a candidate who should be fair, slim and tall. And then I come across your CV and you're chubby, dark and short. All the qualities that I do not need, but everything else on your CV shows that you can do the job. But because I am just biased as to how you look, your complexion, your skin tone, your height, I made these segregations as an individual. So I see your CV and I see that you're just the opposite of what I want. There's a natural tendency that I will not reach out to you for an interview. Yes, If I need someone who is light-skinned, someone who is tall, and someone who is slim, and I see that on your passport you're chubby, you're dark in complexion, chances are that I would not invite you for that interview. So please take that out. Now I'm also going to use another instance. If I'm a Christian and I want to employ a Christian, or I am a Muslim and I want to employ a Muslim for a particular role, and I come across your passport photograph and I see that you have something you're wearing and it tells me that you're from this religion or you're from this tribe, chances are that I might not invite you for an interview, notwithstanding the fact that you can actually be the best person for that job. So take out your passport because it is limiting you from getting access to interviews. Remember that the purpose of your CV is to get you access into an interview. So your passport photograph might be the reason why you're just not getting called for that interview. It might be that your qualifications, your experiences are great, but simply because of the passport photograph that you have on your CV, that's the turnoff. So take it out. It is not necessary. It completely is unnecessary. If it is required by your employer that include your passport, you can go ahead and do that. But generally, if you do not have such requirements, take your passport out of your CV because it is a turn-off and it is affecting your CV. And trust me, I do not want anything to affect your CV or stop you from getting an invite into any interview. Of course, the reason why I'm creating this video is because I want your CV to stand out and not to be tossed off. The second thing that should not be in your CV is your gender. Take it out. Take it out. Your gender should not be written on your CV. It is completely irrelevant. Now, let me tell you what your gender does to you. If you put your gender on your CV, peradventure, I want to employ a male for this role, and then I see that you're a female via your CV where you've spelled it out that you're female, I will not invite you for the interview because I want a male. Now, it is possible that you can actually do that job. But then because you've placed right there that you're female, I don't get to interview you. I don't get to invite you for an interview. And note that the importance of your CV is to get you an invite for an interview. So if you've lost the interview, you've lost the job. It's as simple as that. So take out your gender. I'm going to share a story with you. So some time ago, I wanted to employ a lady, a female, for a cashier role somewhere in Delta State. And I threw out, I circulated the job advert, I told people about it, and then I got some CVs. So someone did not include his gender, so I invited him not knowing it's a male, and initially I actually needed a female. So I interviewed everyone, and I interviewed this young man. He was so smart, he was bright, he was brilliant, he was just amazing, and I was excited that I interviewed him. Guess what happened? This doesn't mean I employed him to work as cashier, because as at the time, the organization did not allow male cashiers. They only allowed female cashiers. So there was another opening that young man was a perfect fit for. And because I interviewed him, I immediately employed him for another role. Do you get that? Now, if that young man had the gender male on his CV, I would not have interviewed him. I would not have sent him any invite, and he would have lost such a great opportunity. I would never have met such wonderful potential. So that is something that can actually refrain employers, prospective employers, from reaching out to you for interviews. So take it out. It is not necessary. However, I usually advise, if the hiring manager or the employer has stated that they want you to include your gender, please go ahead and do it. It means they want to be more specific with their interviews. But if it is not required, if it is not specified, please take it out and do not include it. Nobody will kill you for not doing that. But trust me, you can lose your interview by just including your gender. So take it out. The third thing that should not be in your CV is grammatical errors. Come close. Grammatical errors. Did you hear me right? Okay, so one major thing you should do is proofread your CV after editing. Now, it doesn't matter if you did your CV yourself. It doesn't matter if you paid someone to do your CV for you, but ensure that you proofread for grammatical errors. If I go through your CV, or any other HR manager or prospective employer goes through your CV and they see that you have grammatical errors on your CV, trust me, you may not be invited for an interview, because it shows that you are not a detailed person. A detailed and a thorough person will clearly go through or proofread their CV and ensure that it is free of any kind of grammatical errors. There are certain softwares and applications you can use online to even proofread. This is to ensure that your CV is at its best. Because if your CV is not at its best, chances are that you will lose an interview invite. Imagine that where you're supposed to say I am, you say I is or I wear. Things as simple as that. You can just ignore things like that. It is important that you proofread your CV. A CV with spelling errors is very bad. If you're not sure of a word, do not use it. If you're not sure of the meaning of a word, do not use it. Use it. It is better that your CV is devoid of grammar, this big grammar. It is better that you do not have that than for you to use grammar and the grammar is actually wrong. Your tenses are incorrect. The vocabulary is completely out of place. It is a turn off. You're not going to get invited except you're applying for a mini job such as being a driver. Yes, that can pass. But if you're trying to get a job, a professional white collar job, it is important that you go through your CV and check for errors. Do not submit your CV that way. If you need a professional to edit your CV for you, you can contact me. I do that. I proofread CVs and look out for errors. And I can also tell you that this CV is going to be tossed off, because I'm an HR personnel and I can tell you that this CV will be tossed off. So you can reach out to me for such services, but you can do that yourself. Take your time, go through your CV, check it bit by bit. Do not make such errors as, not only grammatical errors generally. It can be that you've put that you graduated at a particular year, and at that time, you're also putting that you had a job. And at that time, you're also putting that you had something else going. So check the years that you're putting on your CV and ensure that there is no clashing. If you have 2 jobs at the same time, it's actually a turn-off, except one is a freelance job. So check for the years, check for grammatical errors, check for errors generally, because trust me, I do not want your CV to get turned off. I do not want your CV to be thrown away. I want you to get that job. We need money in this country, or don't we? So we don't have any reason to have our CVs tossed off. So please check your CV for any kind of error. The fourth thing that should not be in your CV is wrong contact information. I spoke about this earlier, but I'm going to be speaking about it again. If you use a wrong contact information, you might actually lose your job and an access to an interview. If you have a wrong contact information of a CV you submitted, chances are that you will not get invited for an interview, because how would they contact you if your phone number is wrong? Or if your phone number is 10 digits. I saw a CV some time ago, and I tried to reach out to this person, and it was 9 digits. The contact on it was 9 digits, and I could not reach out to her. I could not reach out to this particular person. All right, so because of that, I had to reach out to someone else. Now, the person didn't even use an email address, so there was no way to reach out to her. And of course, I wouldn't go to your house visiting you because I want to invite you for an interview. So I had to reach out to the next available person who had their contact information correct. So this is a really bad thing if it is on your CV. Check your CV. If you're not getting invites, it is possible that your CV has a wrong contact information. It can be that your digits are not complete. It can be that your digits are in excess. Maybe you have 12 digits. It can be anything, but confirm that your contact information, your phone number, your email address is accurate. In fact, everything on your CV must be accurate. Ensure that, because it can cause you to lose your interview, it can cause you to lose a job invite or whatever. Just ensure that every information on your CV is accurate, 100% accurate. The fifth thing that should not be on your CV is your age. Take your age out of your CV. What is your age doing there? Why do you want us to know how old you are? So for example, I want to employ someone and I want you to be 30 years and above, and you have it on your CV that you were born in 2000, that is a turn-off. Chances are that you might be able to do the job, but because you've told us that I have a problem, I'm not that age, it's actually a problem on your CV. Take out your age. Your age tells the prospective employer that you're either too young or you're too old. Do not give them that luxury. A colleague of mine went for an interview recently. She did not include her age. They needed someone who was 35 years and above because it is a professional job. They needed someone really quite a bit old, not a teenager or someone in their 20s. They needed somebody from 35 years and above. And she's 31. She went for the interview. She was invited for the interview because they didn't know her age. She went for the interview, she passed, and she got the job. Nobody has actually asked her of her age at this point. Absolutely nobody. So you can actually kill your CV by including your age, your date of birth. It is not necessary. However, if it is requested by the prospective employer that you include your date of birth, go ahead and do that. But if it is not required, do not include it to ruin your CV. It has a great chance of destroying your chances of gaining access to an interview. Your CV does not need to tell your employer that you're too old or you're too young. Take that off your CV now. Do not wait. Just take it out of your CV. All right. So the sixth thing that should not be on your CV is your religious preference. Do not tell anyone whether or not you're a Muslim or you're a Christian or you're a Hindu or you're whatever. Do not talk about your religious preference on your CV, because some people are religious biased. So do not fall into that trap where you are not invited for an interview because of your religious preference. If you're a Christian, keep that to yourself. If you're a Muslim, keep that to yourself. If you're whatever, just whatever, any religion, keep that to yourself. It is not necessary. Now, the seventh thing that you need to take out of your CV right now is your political affiliation. Nobody wants to know if you're PDP or you're APC or you're whatever. Take it out. Your political affiliation can actually ruin your chances of getting you that invite for an interview. Because if the hiring manager is someone from PDP and they see that you're in APC, yes, I've seen CVs where they say, I am a PDP supporter and all of that. Those are not necessary. You can jeopardize your chances of getting access to an interview by using such information. So take it out. If your CV is a national CV, you're using it within the country, you're using it outside the country, take out your political affiliation. It is completely unnecessary and can cost you your interview invite. Okay, so moving forward, I'm going to be doing 3-in-1. I'm going to be telling you to take out 3 things at once. Now, these are all alike, but I'm just going to bring them into one category. Take out your country of residence or your country of birth. Take out your state of origin. Take out your local government of origin. All these are similar and they can jeopardize your chances of getting invited for an interview. We do not want to know what country you're from, and it can actually affect you. Yes, that information might be necessary to us, but it can affect you. If you're trying to apply to work in a foreign company and you put that you're a Nigerian or you're a Ghanaian or you're a Togolese or you're whatever country, it might actually cost you your interview because they might not want to have an affiliation with someone from that country. So completely take it out, because you might actually be good for that job, but because of that information that you've placed right there, it can be a limitation and can cost you your interview. All right, so your state of origin, your local government of origin, those are irrelevant, because if you're trying to apply to an organization where they want to employ a Yoruba lady, or they want to employ an Igbo lady, or they want to employ an Hausa lady, and they see that you're not their tribe, they can choose to not send you an invite. So take it out. I know that chances are that you might get there for the interview, and when they find out by virtue of your accent or whatever that you're from this tribe, chances are that they might have already interviewed you and seen that you're actually capable for this job, and they won't send you away when they see that you can actually do the job. This is my opinion, and I believe you take this seriously. Take out your state, your local government of origin, your place of birth. Do not include any of that on your CV, as it can actually be detrimental to your CV or your interview invite success. The 9th thing I'm going to be telling you to take out of your CV today is your marital status. your marital status. It is important that you keep such information private. If you're married and you're trying to apply for a job, please do not include it that you're married. And if you're single, do not also include it that you're single, because this can actually, of course, affect your getting an invite for an interview. If they're trying to employ a single lady or a single man, some people turn down CVs just because they see that you're married and they see that, oh, this woman might not work with us for long, or she will start giving us maternity excuses and the likes, right? So please take out your marital status. It is irrelevant. Nobody is going to drag you for doing that. Take out your marital status. It is not necessary. Take it from me today. If you've never heard it anywhere, take it from me. I am the real HR, and I'm telling you that you need to take out your marital status from your CV. It is detrimental to the health of your CV. Now, the 10th thing I'm going to be telling you to take out of your CV is physical deformity. Take out physical deformity out of your CV. I'm talking about disabilities. If you have a disability, do not include it in your CV that you have a disability, because it can be a turn-off. If they need someone to do a particular job or fit in a particular role and they see your disability, you might not get invited for an interview and you might not get the job. So take away your physical deformity. It is not necessary. You might be able to do the job. Funny enough, it might actually be a remote job or whatever, where you don't have to use your hands or your legs to do it. You can just be a consultant, all right? So completely take that out of your CV. There's a job for everyone. There is a job for everyone, regardless of who you are, regardless of your race, regardless of your skin color, regardless of your height. There is a job for everyone. There are consultants who do not even have legs, but they consult for people and they get paid. There are people who do not even have hands and they are able to do something too. So do not include your physical deformity so your CV is not thrown away because of that information. It is important that you make your CV as beautiful as possible. I'm not saying you should be fraudulent on your CV. I'm saying that take out information that can likely jeopardize chances of you getting an invite. These are general information and are things that should not be found on your CV. Your CV can be found wanting. And if these 10 things are there, chances are that you will never get an invite for an interview. And even if you do, you might not be considered for the job. So to be on the safe side, ensure that you watch this video, take out all the things that are not supposed to be on your CV, and watch your CV take you to places that you have not even been to. I mean that. You'll be surprised how you start getting invites and calls upon calls from the new CV you've curated. You can send your CV to me. I can check it. I can proofread. I can see if you're actually on the right path when it comes to your CV success. I can do all of that for you. This is the end of this class, but I want to remind you, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. I know this information was helpful. If it was, of course, subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bar button. So when there's any other new video, because I'm going to be talking more about your CV and how to create the best CV. This is not all you should know about your CV. There's more information and I'll be bringing it to you back to back. And it is not just about your CV. Like the name of the channel implies, Millie's Academy, you will be taught about a lot of things that you will not be taught in the four walls of a university or in a school. We're here to teach you things that you might actually pay to get. So we're giving you for free. Thank you for joining my class today. I hope you learned something. See you in my next class.